All right, we are running. Okay, so tonight we are going to talk about how to do a get started right call. Basically, a get started right call is when you bring on a new coach to the team. You just want to help push them in the right direction. You want to help make sure that they are getting started and that they feel comfortable with everything, and that we're getting them started right away. Because I feel like the longer you wait to start, the more new coaches start overthinking things and get in their head about how they can't do this, and it just gets a lot more tricky. So I would recommend, obviously most of you guys have full-time jobs, but if you enroll a new coach, you want to get them started to get a started right call within the first week, and if you can do it within the first couple of days, that's even better. So Lindsay, oh shoot. Lindsay, I think if you're okay, I'll have you go first just because you have an awesome tool that you use beforehand. So I'm going to let Lindsay take it over.
Sorry, I'm really tired. Lauren, what tool?
Oh, the email that you sent. Sorry, you cut out. I didn't hear.
Oh, yeah. Okay. So once I have a coach that signs up, I have a canned response that is set up, and it's a new coach welcome letter. And pretty much what I do is I say, hey, welcome. I'm going to add you to our team page. And then embedded in the email, I have a link to, actually, I'm going to do this now. Right now it's a Word doc, but I asked them a series of like 7 questions. And I'm going to turn it into a Google Doc so that way I can have it all, populate a spreadsheet for me. But the things that I ask are, what do you do for a living? What are some of your hobbies? And then I ask like their journey with fitness. So have you always been active? What do you like to do? Do you have a transformation? What do you struggle with most? Ask if they've used Shakeology, what their nutrition is like, what excites them the most about being a Beachbody coach, and what scares them the most. And then I explain the 3 main types of coaches very briefly, like in like a sentence: a discount coach, hobby coach, and then a business builder. And I ask them to tell me kind of what they're thinking. And then I asked them if they'd be interested in participating in free online training. So like Rock the Business, that kind of stuff. And then I talked to them about posting on social media very briefly. I just go over like, think of 5 topics of your life and what could you post about. It doesn't have to be just fitness. Yeah, so mine is super basic. And then I also, I should get into mine, but yeah, so I like to do mine within, like Lauren said, a few days of a coach signing up. So that way you can really get a feel for what they want. If they want to be a discount coach, using the Get Started Right call, you can really find out how you can best help them. Because most of the time, discount coaches, they're looking for their own transformation and they really want a lot of support. So you can learn that from the Get Started Right call without pressuring them into a hobby coach or a business builder. You ask them the questions and then they kind of guide the conversation. And I think what's really important too during a Get Starting Right call is like, you don't want to word vomit on them. It's mostly you listening. So if they have a question, answer it thoroughly, but just make sure that if a new coach, they should actually kind of be the one running the Get Started Right call. I send them the questions ahead of time, and then we just kind of talk our way through all the questions. So, and I let them do either a Zoom call or we can talk on the phone. So.
Awesome. I don't give my new coaches an option. I'm like, hey, we're going to do a Zoom, just because I want them to be comfortable with hopping on a Zoom, because that first one is just them and I. And then hopefully, they'll hop on a Zoom, which, by the way, we have 2 newer coaches signed up this month, Anna and Jenny, both on tonight. Both have done a GSR call and both are here on tonight. So awesome way to show up tonight. I completely agree that it's so easy to word vomit on new coaches. And so basically the setup of my Get Started Right call with them is basically I ask them, tell me a little bit about yourself. So they'll tell me about their family, they'll tell me about what they do for their job, and I just am listening to their story. Why did they decide to become a coach? Is what interested them about coaching? Most of the time it's about accountability, or just wanting to pay it forward. Maybe they've already found a way to include fitness and nutrition into their life, and they want to kind of use this as a side hustle to help them do that. So I'm hearing them out and then thinking of how they can use this opportunity and how I can get them started. So another really important thing to do is give them a couple of goals that they can work on. Couple of things. So like I said, you listen to what their goals are, you listen to what their why is, why they want to be a coach. And you, as their mentor, need to meet them where they are. And I think that's one of the hardest things about being a coach, is, there's going to be different levels of coaches, and you just need to know how to direct them to where they are. My call with Anna yesterday, she's like, I asked her where she sees, or what she sees with the business, and she's like, you know what, I want to go all in. So it's like, okay, great. You're going to help 3 people this month. There's only like 9 days left, but you're going to help 3 people get started with something. And she's like, okay, awesome. So you want to give them something of where their goal is. If their goal is to finish a workout program and they've never done that before, you're going to give them a goal of, finishing that first week of following this schedule. If they struggle with nutrition, you want to meet them where they are with that. Maybe they struggle with the container system and you can help them eat 80-20 instead. So you want to meet them where they are. If you have someone who is wanting to earn an income and that's their main thing, is they want to help provide for their family, they're in a financial pinch, I always tell them the most important thing, this is a relationship business, and your income is going to reflect the amount of lives that you change. So, and I stole that from watching a Get Started Right call that Scotty Hobbs did. And that's one thing that can really help you feel comfortable with running these, is watch them on YouTube. There are a lot of great different ones, and you can just kind of, that was one of the things that stood out to me. I want my coaches to understand, like, you're not going to make $1 million by enrolling people and not supporting them. There's a lot of income potential, but you have to meet people. You have to help people. So, and then you just want to show them 5 feet in front of them. So most of the time, this is a really scary thing in some way for a lot of people, whether it be having conversations with people or posting to social media. So you just want to give them small wins and help them see, like, it's not as scary as they put it, as they built it up in their head. Lindsay, do you have anything to chime in on that, or anyone else who's done Get Started Right calls? No. I know that we had some questions on them. If you think of questions, you can unmute and ask, or you can type them in the chat box. But I remember Kenzie asked a question last week about, if you yourself are just getting started, how are you going to mentor someone when you don't know everything? And the thing is like, I've been doing this for 3.5 years and I'm still learning, I'm still growing. I don't know everything, but the best thing you can do is help them in any way you can. You can tell them to plug into the team, and you're growing together. Lindsay signed up as a coach 3 weeks after me. I had no idea how to lead, and it honestly was kind of more of a partnership from the beginning, even though I think she wanted me to lead her more and I didn't know how. But you learn and you grow and you find your way. And don't ever hesitate to like reach out to someone and ask for help. Or if you sign up a new coach and you're like, I've never run a GSR call before, Get Started Right call, I have no idea how to do this, reach out to your upline and they can help you run one, help you run a couple. Maybe your first couple, you're just listening and taking notes on kind of how the call's going, what questions are asked. And then maybe then you transition to you leading it and your sponsors on and helping you go through it. I feel like I just word vomited over everyone. I'm like, don't word vomit. La, 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 la.
And I think too, with like leading people, that's the nice thing about a GSR is you find out what their goals are. And then you can, if you have written down notes, or like I said, I want to convert mine to a Google Docs, that way I can go look at it. But that way, you know what that person wants. And then you're always there for them however they need you to be. So
there are, in like the different team pages, like Team Rockstar Fit, I know Trina has some examples on questions, basically just like a form that she'll ask different questions as she goes. And I know one of the questions that she has asked for years is, how could $100 change your life? If you had an extra $100, how would you use that? And so it's just a way to kind of find some type of motivator for that person and help guide them to that. Does anybody else have questions, comments on Get Started Right calls?
Don't be shy. They scare me. I'm just being totally honest. So yeah, I always have to give myself a pep talk before I do them.
It's funny because, for doing it so long, there are sometimes I'm like, all right, that call went awesome. And then there's sometimes I get off and I'm like, I totally butchered that. Like, it's just, sometimes it's really easy. And then sometimes you're like, okay, well, I need to talk to that person again because I feel like there was just something off. But another thing to add on to this is, since you're giving them some type of goal, make sure you do either like a follow-up Zoom with all of your new coaches or a follow-up time to meet with that person and kind of check in with them, see where they are with that new goal and see how they're feeling with everything. So. I think that's all I have on Get Started Right calls.
Any questions? Yeah, any questions? No questions is a silly question. That makes sense.
Hey, Lindsay, will you post a copy of your questionnaire, like your canned one for your coaches, in the file?
Yep.
Thank you.
Maybe I missed this or not, but do you guys keep track like in a binder, like the notes you take on Google Streak, like do you track it or you just keep it here?
I have a notebook. It's not organized, but I am always taking notes on, what they're excited about, what their why is, what their current goals are that they're working towards. Oh, another thing is I wait to do an introduction for my new coaches until after I do a Get Started Right call. And then I'll typically ask them, like, what are you most excited about coaching? And then I'll add that into that. Anna, I forgot to ask you that yesterday. You'll have to send me an answer. Awesome. If there are no questions about Get Started Right calls, then we can move on. Is there anything else that people want to talk about today? Questions or best practices, things are going well? I think what the problem here is that nobody wants to unmute and move their arms. Everyone's super sore.
The struggle is real. I've got a quick little tidbit I picked up on an Instagram training that had nothing to do with Beachbody. So you know how we always say, like, find the hashtags for your niche and dig into those and try to find people based on that. And one great point, and I guess I never even thought of it, is, you know, you type in, let's say I typically would use like farm life, let's say. When I click on it, you have to remember that the posts that get pulled up are the ones that are like with the most followers and with the most likes and have made it there. You have to scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll and scroll to the bottom and start finding those photos that don't have like 80 likes on them and 100 comments. And those are the people that you can reach that are probably more likely to be either like not a coach or not some form of advertising or things along those lines. So I hadn't really thought about bringing that up on that Instagram call we did, but just a little kind of tidbit if you're starting to use Instagram.
Awesome tip. Never would have thought of that. That makes sense.
Thinking about that, with that, there's the option there that you can click on like most liked, or you can go to most recent ones. And so usually I go to the recent ones, and then they're the not always the super well liked ones.
Yep, that works too. I just know, like, when you scroll to the bottom, then you get like a lot of them at once. And so you can kind of flip through them and see if there's anybody that kind of fits that you want to follow. Currently, I'm on a Crazy Chicken Lady kick. There's so many cool chickens. I am totally growing the flock. It's going to be awesome. Sorry, Lauren. Deal with it.
Caleb and I went on our first date in like 3
And sorry, for everyone that's new.
Caleb and I went on our first date in like 3
Okay, if anybody that's new, I have a crazy chicken obsession.
And we stopped at the fair on the way there, and the first place he took me was the chicken barn, of course. So I don't know why I ever started dating him. He picked on me all the time. He chased me out of the chicken barn in high school carrying a chicken, running at me. It was terrifying. I was going to mention really quick, I had a couple of conversations with coaches this week just about personal development and how a lot of that you can use YouTube for. So obviously, like, you should always be invested in a book or listening to podcasts, but don't forget about YouTube. If you're struggling with like conversations, or if you're a new coach and you're wanting to know how to get started fast and you just want more tips, like, hop on YouTube and search Beachbody conversations, or how to go Emerald, or how to hit Success Club, or stuff like that. There are so many great videos out there. And typically, if I'm in a funk, if regular personal development isn't working for me, if there's something I'm struggling with, I'll hop on YouTube and search a bunch of different videos. So. You guys are so quiet tonight.
Any other questions?
Is there anything that people need support with, something they're struggling with? Anything?
I think a new round of Rock the Business starts. They haven't posted about it yet. I thought about taking it again just to see kind of what some of the videos, what the trainings were and stuff, just to see them.
Yeah, I heard they revamped it. I think, Kaylee, did you do it after they revamped it?
I did. I liked it. A lot of the videos were a lot shorter. and when you're a busy mom, that you hang on really good for the first week and then you start to fall off and time gets crunched in your days and you're like, oh, this is like 40-minute video, like, oh heck. And you're trying to do it at bedtime and you're not really focusing because you want to go to sleep. It was a lot better.
Good. Awesome. Perfect. Well, if anyone, if you have not done Rock the Business, they usually start at the first Monday of every month. And so you can hop in there, reach out to your sponsor if you want to do that. It's a free training. They do a post every day for, is it 3 weeks or 4 weeks? I don't even know.
I think it's 3 weeks, Monday through Friday.
Yeah.
And then free days on the weekends, I think, but that's the way it used to be. I don't remember.
Okay.
I don't know if it's the same.
Awesome. And that's another thing when you do a Get Started Right call with a coach, you can show them you can show them where that unit is for, Lindsay, what's it called? Did you call it Rock the Business?
No, I think it's just New Coach 101 or something like that.
So you can show them in that units tab. That way a new coach doesn't have to wait for Rock the Business. They can get right in there and just tag you as they go through and answer those questions. So.
But sometimes you have coaches that sign up, middle of the month and.
Right.
So, and then there's a couple of us that are going to make a sneak peek in the team page in the same format, like do little videos or whatever. So same kind of thing. If you want to invite coaches into our team page, you kind of get a vibe for the tribe. You can also direct them to that units thing. And then we'll just talk about like our, typical, like talk about the 3 types of coaches and bust some myths maybe about coaches and how to sign up, all that stuff. So if anyone wants to help with that, holler. And then we'll probably ask some people to share their stories, and we'll put those on there as well. So that way you can kind of talk about how you signed up as a coach and what it's done for you. So if you want to do that, let us know too.
Awesome. All right, cool. Well, if we don't have anything else, we'll call it a short night, but I'd like to get a picture first, if I could. All right. Ready? 1, 2, 3. Awesome. I'll post it and tag you guys. Love you all. Have an awesome night.
Good night.
Bye.
Adios.